I have what feels like a real big lake trout on here. Hey Ted! It's f***ing big! Steelhead, yeah!
What happened there, Xander? First cast?
Yeah, buddy. Just ate her right up. Cascade falls.
Then we cut the Y bones out when we get to camp.
Great, okay.
You know? And that just saves time. There's one. Oh yeah, that's a good one, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Nothing too big, but.
Oh my God.
Okay, this one's going back. Dude, you got it? Yeah. Dude, that's huge. That's a good size. Nice, good size for sure. Wait 3 seconds. Oh, Brad's got one too. It's a
Yeah. Whoa. Oh, there's a huge one right. Oh, he's attacking it. Dude, they're attacking each other. Okay.
Ted over there, fixing up his canoe,
Nice.
missing out on the pike action. This is a good amount of food that you caught, bud. Fill her up. There. Oh yeah.
It's like quite heavy, like 10 pounds, I don't know.
Xander's been out here, smashed a lake trout, which made me naturally extremely jealous. And yeah, beautiful campsite. Switched to double blade for Lake Superior, and looking forward to what the day has to hold. Yeah, the mouth here is known, so in the fall they actually run. There's like a subspecies of lake trout that actually runs up the Dog River. Yeah. Yeah. So like in the fall, it's like hammer time in here for Lakers apparently. Looks like a good eating size.
Should I keep it?
Sure. Steelhead, yeah!
Is that good? Is that
Dude,
good?
that's wicked,
Oh,
man.
great.
That's an anadromous. Yo, it's a steelhead. They call it salmon trout. Its colors aren't that good at this time of year.
Whoa.
Yeah. Steelhead, bro.
Dude,
We're eating steelhead.
There's a lunker too.
Yeah! That's epic, dude.
Sick.
That's way better than lake trout. Well, here we are. Oh. Oh man, I'm snagged. Lake Superior in all its glory. Far worse places to be snagged. Okay, got something on here. Feels like a decent size. Interested to see what she is. Oh, it's a lake trout.
Jim's got a lake trout. Nice.
Yes, I'll take it.
Look at that. Nice fish, man.
Woo! There we go. Laker, that is a great eating size fish right there. See that? You rip all the guts out like that.
Wow.
Then you just take this bloodline here, you get a grip on it like that. Just run your thumb down the back there. And that bloodline. And then give it a rinse. Well, we're just going to check out the little waterfall that's pouring into the lake here as we make our way along the coast. We're making decent enough time. Some, you know, small swells and no headwind, can't complain. It's not extremely inspiring, this waterfall, is it? How, talk about rags to riches with the fishing, eh?
Oh, dude, what the heck? Yeah, nothing skunked on the river for the most part. Jim caught a bass. But yeah, man, one of my biggest pike and then my biggest trout. And then it was a steelhead, which I've never caught before. So
They're way better tasting than lake trout too, eh?
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's real exciting. So this trip is, it's a full experience now. We got it all.
Wow, just beautiful white sand beaches. A lot of little protected bays to duck into. Just smooth rocks, patches of rugged rocks. This ice-scoured Canadian Shield country at its finest. Xander's got a laker.
You can always take it home. Just put it in a Ziploc, put a little water in the back of your canoe, and
We're gonna let it go.
We got enough. Nice laker. Woo! Nice one. Should I keep? Okay, and there it is. Nice fish. I have what feels like a real big lake trout on here. Hey Ted! It's fucking big! Another lake trout. Man, these things are just smashing the Williams spoon. Another nice one. I hope everybody is enjoying my trip down the Dog River and along the Lake Superior coast. I'm just enjoying one of my very own beers. I want to introduce this to you. I brought some along on the trip, but me and the boys drank them all around the fire at Naturally Superior Adventures before the trip even started, and that's why I have to do this little insert. So check it out. Jim Baird Adventurers Windbound Campfire Pilsner in collaboration with Muskoka Brewery. Hopefully we don't get windbound on Lake Superior, especially because I don't have any beer on this trip. Anyways, Ontario residents can order this beer online through the link I put in this video's description, or you can pick some up at Muskoka Brewery's Tap House in Bracebridge, Ontario. It's a crisp, refreshing pilsner, but a great flavor, and has a little hint of smoky campfire flavor because there's some smoked malted barley in it. I think it's absolutely delicious, so check it out. Something devastating just happened to me. My GoPro ran out of battery, ran out of memory card, and when I went to take the memory card out, the memory card shot out over the side of the canoe and I lost it. It sunk in the water. I couldn't, it just was out of reach. I couldn't get it in time. And so that's like an enormous amount of this trip footage, which this trip was too hard to really film that much in the first place. So just an enormous amount of trip footage gone. All my lining shots, whitewater shots, everything all just gone. So that is extremely, extremely devastating. You know, I come out here, I was away from my family for an entire week, working my ass off, need the content, and I just lose what took me incredibly enormous amounts of difficulty to get, is all that content, and now it's just whipped into the lake. Lake Superior giveth, Lake Superior taketh away, I guess, but that is absolutely devastating. It's not that big. Another lake trout, baby. There's that fish. Not too bad. Couple pike today, 3 pike, 4 lake trout today for old Jim. Yeah, to be honest with you, I was starting to get worried the fishing just wasn't going to be good. It was terrible on the Dog River. We were hoping that you know, we could get into something, but all I caught the whole time was a bass. And so that was disappointing. And then getting to the mouth, I thought it was gonna be good. I fished there yesterday, all kinds, you know, casting, even though I was exhausted, even though I needed to set up my tent, and caught nothing. So I wasn't so inclined to get out there and try this morning, but when we did try, immediately Xander caught a nice pike on his first cast. He ended up catching his personal best pike. Then we all pretty much started slamming pike, and we have a mess of pike to eat. Then Xander caught a nice steelhead right at the mouth. I caught another pike at the mouth, and then I've just caught 4 lake trout, and Xander's caught 1. So it is from rags to riches out here, from famine to feast when it comes to the fishing department. Super exciting. Got another one. Oh, this one's a pretty decent size. Yeah. There we go. Release, nice clean hook. Okay, well, we're gonna pull over and have a little shore lunch here. I am a Midwest farmer. I make a living off the land. I drive a John Deere tractor. I'm a liberated man. Perfect. Just cleaned up the lake trout. This is what we have here. Solid haul. Love it. So I'm actually gonna try to store this and keep it cool. We'll eat some tonight, and maybe there'll be enough for me to take some home, but I'm gonna store it in cool water in another bag on top of this just to make sure it lasts. And to be honest with you, there's a cool breeze. The water in Lake Superior is ice cold, so it should be good. But first, we're gonna fry up a bunch of this pike with some fish crisp and have an epic shore lunch. We were just deboning it. We just kind of quickly filleted them today at camp. Now we've taken the bones and the skin off of them. And next we're gonna fry them up over the fire and just, hopefully there's enough to feed us all a good meal. Wow. Hot. Delicious shore lunch here, guys. This is fresh caught Lake Superior Northern Pike from the spring too, when it tastes the best. Fried up over an open fire. I've actually been using lard lately as opposed to cooking oil. It's lighter, it doesn't spill anywhere, and it's actually a whole food, so it's probably better for you. And pretty much the same results, so definitely the same results. That's good though. That's a really good eating pike. This is awesome. Like, we pulled over, endless amounts of wood, and like epic view of Lake Superior, just gifted with a beautiful day. I think we deserve it. And I can just see right out to the horizon right here. We pulled up right beside a little tributary. Super beautiful spot. So nice that the mosquitoes and black flies decided to join us, unfortunately. Love getting Frank's Red Hot in my cuts.
Yeah, man, that's what happened to me.
Well, we are just finishing off an epic shore lunch, and some shenanigans have erupted, and guys are just whipping a rock to try to hit another rock out of the air, basically skeet shooting with rocks. Something tells me girls don't do this stuff when they're out here. I don't know.
1, 2, 3. Oh, almost hit Rod in the head.
Jesus Christ.
But anyways, yeah, delicious fish. So we ate a bunch of the pike, then we got into the steelhead that Xander caught. We're gonna save some lake trout, and we're gonna push off. Probably have to get to camp late because we spent so much time on the shore lunch, but it was a real treat. So really enjoyable little fish fry, and beautiful little spot here too. So we're just gonna eat the last bit of fish and push off. But yeah, awesome day. And we're just really fortunate that the lake provided us with the opportunity to do this. And it's a generally calm day. So some days you might not get such a long window of paddleable conditions like this. So pretty special. I think we deserve it after all the challenging work we've done in the past few days. So awesome times. Okay, we're back on mighty Lake Superior after one of the most epic shore lunches of my entire career. We ate 2 pike, big one that Xander caught, and an entire beauty steelhead that Xander also caught. And I filleted up the big lake trout I caught, gutted the other 2 and tucked them away. I put them in Ziplocs and then put them in a dry bag with really cold Lake Superior water. And now that's sitting at the base of my canoe, which is really cold from the Lake Superior water underneath my canoe. And it's literally colder than a refrigerator. So we're probably gonna eat, we might eat some more of it tonight, or I might split some with Xander and the boys and take some home. So that's the plan. Well, it was a super calm day, but in the evening here, fairly strong wind has picked up, and we're in the middle of doing the largest crossing likely that we're going to do on this entire trip. You know, Lake Superior is very cold. You get hypothermia really quick. So we're just doing it here. So I'm just paddling beside Brad and Cam here. I'm a little bit worried about Max because he only has a single bladed paddle. So Xander and Ted are back there with Max. They might duct tape 2 paddles together just because, to be honest with you, going into a headwind, you're just safer, it's faster, and Max's boat's a little slower than ours, being a whitewater boat. And nobody wants to get hypothermatic. Someone better get a fire going quick. Please get a match lit before we freeze off our asses and our dicks. Max's paddle problematic. He might become hypothermatic if he jumps in the river. I'm working on that one for a few days. Well, we made the crossing. Now we gotta follow the shore. Well, we are still battling some headwinds here. We completed the large crossing, which fortunately never got scary. The group kind of had to break up, and Xander and Ted and Max hugged the shore because they were back behind us, pulling over to have a coffee or something. Okay, well, we made it to camp with some sunlight to spare. We're out of the wind in the lee of this big whaleback island. And we know we're camping in this area. There's a river, the Door River, coming in here. Beautiful waterfall in the canyon. And we can either camp here or over there. What do you guys want to say?
Doesn't matter to me. That's all cleared and flat, like it's a forest site.
Yeah. There's no sun in there.
I like sun.
You like sun? Yeah.
I like sun.
I think this is calling to us. There's a fucking waterfall.
Yeah.
Oh, then let's go there.
I think the boys will see our canoes. Like,
Yeah.
To know exactly where to go.
Excellent, Jim.
Was it a good day?
Oh, it was a fantastic day.
Yeah, a little bit of a challenge at the end even, eh?
Yeah, a little bit of a push, but I think we had such a relaxing day at the start that we needed a little bit of an extra push just to remind us that we're on the world's biggest freshwater lake, right? She's all powerful.
How do you think the rest of the guys are doing?
I think they're struggling a bit in the wind. Well, I think Xander and Ted are doing fine. I think Max, unless he taped his 2 paddles together, is struggling. But they'll probably cut the coast, add a couple kilometers, so they might be maybe half hour to an hour behind us. But we'll get camp set up, have a fire for them, and I'm sure they'll be happy to see that when they roll in too. So.
Well, it looks like the rest of the crew made it. They just paddled around the corner, so we weren't too far behind. Looks like Max might have taped 2 paddles together and made a double blade. I'm just figuring out a way to keep my fish nice and cold. This is the last campsite of the trip. We're gonna head off tomorrow in rain and headwinds to finish it off. We have about 10K left, which will likely take us about 3 hours. It's been an amazing trip, probably the most challenging whitewater trip or whitewater river I've ever paddled. There's been some others, including the Moisey, that was much longer. Definitely, probably for a week-long trip, the Dog River and Superior Coast is gotta be my favorite trip. Easily top 5. You know, I can't imagine a more hardcore yet stunningly beautiful, rewarding and exciting trip with just, you know, terrible fishing on the Dog River, but just smash fest out here on Superior. I caught 5 lake trout. Xander caught a steelhead, a big pike. I caught 4 pike. Ted caught pike. Ted caught a couple lake trout, just crazy. Huge fish fry. We all pigged out. I'm taking some fish home for Tori and the kids too. Yeah, it's been a great year since the snow melted already. Been out in the backcountry with Ted. Been doing this trip as well after the trout fishing Algonquin trip. Now whitewater. Got to get in my whitewater and trout fishing trips in the spring, and I think I've knocked it out of the park this time. So when I get back home, I can't wait to spend a ton of family time with Tori and the kids. We're gonna go stay at our new cabin for, you know, a couple weeks at least, and just enjoy it. Do some trips in the area. We might do some work on it. And then July, Ted and I take off to go to the Arctic. So what an adventure this has been. Unreal. And it's just so cool to go and visit the same spot 16 years later. Ted and I actually took a picture of ourselves in front of Denison Falls, standing roughly the same spot we did 16 years ago when the 2 of us paddled this river. So it's just really special to get out here and experience with my brother, and all these guys have just been great. All experienced wilderness travelers, whitewater paddlers, so really awesome crew. And yeah, feeling a little sore. Oh, this is not an easy trip, man. My trips this year have been pretty hard, but I feel good. So till the next one.
I was like just blown away with how absolutely spectacular Denison Falls was, man.
Yeah, I don't even remember it being that good.
It was incredible.
So good.
It was amazing. I can't think of a waterfall in my life that's more beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh, and I don't want to
find the other trail that missed it.
Yeah. I don't want to be like it's the most beautiful waterfall I've ever seen, because like I don't know. I hate saying that, but it's holy shit. That's,
the one, like ones that I've personally seen.
Insane.
Also because of where it is too, right? Like Niagara is epic, but there's like shadows of casinos on it. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
You're right. They should put a casino in Denison Falls.
You're totally right.
It is very spectacular. Just how far it drops, and even like the top drop is a gargantuan waterfall.
Yeah,
and that's before it even drops like several times.
Yeah, how it starts in that canyon too.
And then even after the put-in, there's another huge waterfall.
I think it was so cool how
Like
after all of
where
that,
it is.
we're just rewarded with like fiddleheads and just a fish slam fest and a huge fry.
So many. We had
How cool was that?
Honestly, it felt like a party. Yeah. Like it really felt like it was, like, it was a fish party.
Yeah,
we were
lunch fish party.
That was
the funniest thing of all.
That was really
I'm still
funny.
cracking up at the rock throw. It just felt so good.
It did, yeah. It felt primal.
It felt right.
Yeah, it felt like
Right.
Yeah.
That's gonna get you clicks.
Well, it is the morning of day 7, our final day of this adventure. And if you can't tell, it's absolutely pouring rain. We've all huddled under a tarp that Xander wisely set up. And I put my dry suit and rain gear on in the tent this morning. Then crawled out into a downpour. The good news is you shouldn't have to paddle in it for more than about 3 hours or so. And it doesn't seem super windy actually. It seems maybe less windy than forecasted even, but we're sort of in a bit of a protected spot, so we'll see when we get out there. Just coming around Perquaquia Point, and a little chop and some big swells. We're just fine paddling out from shore, but there are some reflection waves, and if you get into the shallows or close to shore, those swells kind of break and crash. So it makes it feel kind of dramatic, although it's pretty safe. And I am gonna see if I can't catch another fish. As we round this point though, we're gonna have a 4-kilometer open water crossing. I don't really feel like doing it, to be honest with you. This will win a dick competition, I think, guys. Oh, got off. Man, I spooked it with the net. It was actually poorly handled job. I like to bring it in and put the net in as I bring it in, but I spooked it with the net and then it got tangled in the net and the net was inside out. Well, the rain hasn't slowed and we are paddling into a fog-like abyss. It's actually very hard to navigate. More or less, we know we'll be okay if we just follow the left shore, but we got to make a couple big crossings, so it should get interesting. Anyways, kind of beautiful, even though dreary and a little chilly out. Well, folks, that's all she wrote. We are back at Naturally Superior Adventures. I can see our vehicles. The trip's over. Another great one in the books. With another awesome trip in the books, it was time to get home. We had a lot of work to do around the homestead, and with back-to-back week-long trips in remote areas, it'd been a while since I really spent any quality time with Tori and the kids. We needed to plant Three Sisters vegetable gardens, create fertile soil, build a shed, and do other work around the house to get it ready for the growing season and for the summer. We were already behind schedule because it had been an early spring and the weeds had started overtaking our garden. We needed to pull those out, lay down cardboard boxes, throw in mulch. We wanted to create a nice access way, building a path up to our vegetable garden and plant many other things. So we had a lot of work to do if we wanted to grow any significant amounts of food come fall. After the long drive home from the Superior North Shore, Tori and I rolled up our sleeves and started to get to work. Come on, be brave. That's it. Hudson the brave. Yeah.
Yesterday, while Jim was getting some work done inside, I went out to start weeding the upper portion of our yard where we have our planters. I didn't get too far on it because it was very hard, so I ended up turning on the sprinkler to soak the ground. And I also fixed up our front little decorative garden, which just a lot of weeding and laying out some mulch. I picked up 20 bags of mulch yesterday. I plan to lay mulch around all of the garden beds up on our above our driveway, and I also want to make a little path from our front door to the road. It's not the nicest day out. It looks pretty overcast, so the bugs might be bad, but we'll see how it goes. And I have very little energy today, so I'm moving slow. So the bugs are bad, just as I suspected. Today I'm gonna use this 25% DEET because I'm not in the mood, especially when you're trying to get work done, you know?
If you get things planted much later than June 1st, you might not have enough time for those vegetables to reach maturity to grow any real amounts of food. And if you plant much before that, you risk exposing it to frost at our latitudes. With weeds completely overtaking our area, we had to dig a lot of them up and lay down mulch. This fun?
No, it's bumpy.
Bumpy? Okay, we're gonna shovel out all the dirt we made from all the rotted vegetables. 1, 2, 3. Good job.
Be really careful. Be really out. Wow. There's a bridle.
Huddy, wait, you leaving? Well, Huddy's decided there's too many bugs down here for him, and I think he might be right.
My daddy,
Yeah, bud?
last time I moved my bucket over.
Oh, good. Here, come and pick all of these plants out. These are weeds. Before planting the gardens, we bought some more soil and we mixed up manure with triple mix and potting soil to give nutrient-rich soil to the plants. This is corn seed, and basically corn are just dried out kernels. So you're eating corn, you're eating the seed. I am using some smelt as fertilizer. Tori and I, we go smelting every year, and we save some for fertilizer. So what I do is I take one of the smelt and I bury it underneath the corn kernel. Sometimes I'll take a couple. A great little bit of nitrogen to start off with. Okay, well, I am right into it now. I just planted corn in 2 of my raised beds. I also added some triple mix and some of our compost here that Huddy helped me gather. I tilled it, I mixed it all in. I previously added some blood meal as well so we can have good organic fertilizer. We bought some corn kernels a while back, but I ran out of them. So I've been using the corn kernels that we dried indoors from our harvest last year that was pretty good. Never actually done that before. Essentially all corn seed is the dried kernel. So when you eat corn, you're eating the seed. So it should be fine, it should work, but I'm a little concerned, but you never know until you try. Tori put a lot of mulch down here last year, which kind of helped, but all the weeds grew up through it. So what we're gonna do this year is put down cardboard, then put the mulch on top. You could even use like a tarp, but that won't biodegrade eventually like cardboard will. Driving in your car. What kind of dinosaur are you, Mama?
Brontosaurus.
Whoa, Brontosaurus bite.
Actually, a Brachiosaurus.
Brachiosaurus, even bigger. Even bigger bite from even bigger dinosaur.
Walk us towards the tree.
You're right, bud. You're right. I was going to say that, but I didn't want to be that guy.
I'm wrong. They don't eat burgers.
Oh my
I was testing
God,
you.
Hudson. I'm so proud of you. Tori worked hard at planting peppers, lettuce, and tomatoes on our front porch using grow bags.
Yesterday I did not have a lot of energy, so after weeding as much as I could, I had to take a break. Anyways, today I planted a bunch of veggies that we typically plant up here on our upper porch. It gets a lot of sun. So I've done green peppers, jalapeno peppers, lettuce, kale, spinach, and then a bunch of tomatoes and some cucumber. I know the lettuce, spinach, and kale don't need a ton of light, but as far as convenience goes for just grabbing some greens for dinners and things like that, I thought it'd be nice to just have it kind of close to the kitchen, which hopefully it'll work, I don't know. And I've put everything on the outside of the porch this year. Last year I put some here along the wall of the house, but it was just, there was too much shade for what we had planted there. So this year, hopefully this helps, having it on the outside of the porch, it'll get more sun.
We're just putting on some aged cow manure here into this bed because I feel like I planted the seeds, but I didn't get enough fertilizer in it. And you know, we grow corn in these, and corn really eats up a lot of nitrogen. In the Three Sisters garden, the beans, they actually take nitrogen out of the air, and they put the nitrogen back in the soil, but still, corn takes a lot. You can use your hands, Huddy. You want to use your hands? Two hands, two hands. That's it. This is store-bought organic fertilizer. It has a lot of nitrogen, and essentially it's a byproduct of the slaughterhouse. It's what's left over. It's called blood meal. And yeah, it puts a lot of nitrogen in the soil. So I'm putting about 2 cups of this stuff into this garden that Tori prepared. And I'm gonna mix it in. Then we also added more manure to it because you need to replenish the soil because corn soaks up a lot of nitrogen. We decided to lay down cardboard boxes on top of the weeds, putting the mulch on top to prevent them from growing back up. Seemed like it worked pretty freaking well, which is awesome. We put in some flowers that will bloom and pollinate and come back every year to help attract bees. There's a little baby watermelon on it already. Well, I'm just planting some perennials. Not that I dug up, but that I bought at the store. And that is going to help attract some pollinators. Because vegetables need pollinators for them to grow properly. So here we're planting Glamour Girl. So this is tall garden phlox. This is a perennial, so unless I bring it inside, I won't be able to leave it for the winter in this planter here because its roots will freeze. And this pollinator is called Kobold Gay Feather. So we're planting a little gay feather here. All right, got a little gay feather in the ground. Not a joke, guys. It's actually what it's called. Okay, grow up.
Jim picked up some stones from a local landscaping company to make some stairs. Yeah, I think like this is wide enough, or we could even cut it here.
2 feet. Let's cut it.
We could even cut so it's just 4.
No, let's do it that wide. That's safer.
Okay.
So that's what, 18 inches? Okay.
18, yeah. As Hudson would say, that's too loud to my ears.
Yeah, to my ears!
This looks now way too creepy, but it's pretty good.
Okay, well, big day today and really hot. It's just almost, I think, 31 degrees Celsius with the Humidex. And man, it kind of sucks the life out of you when you're working hard, but I still managed to get a good amount done. Tori and I built a little mini bridge using a pallet this morning over the ditch here. And then I laid in a bunch of flagstones. I planted potatoes, I planted onions, and I planted carrots. And then when Tori got back, she kind of basically picked up the flagstone work, made another little staircase going through these trees up to the road. But I'm gonna have to trim those trees off there. For one, they're gonna get too close to the hydro line soon, but also because they're starting to put some shade on the garden. North and south is this way, so they're not in a terrible spot. But I noticed last year my corn was fighting with them, and my corn ended up really high. And some of the cobs weren't fully developed, I think because the corn was taking its energy to kind of beat the trees. So I'm gonna basically like hedge them. So I'm just gonna take them down. Anybody that knows of a tree that grows in an open field, it grows really wide, it doesn't grow tall. So I'm gonna cut them down at the top. Might look silly at first, but then they'll grow thicker, and yeah, it'll be the perfect amount of just privacy from the road, and it will grow thicker and turn into kind of more like a bush. We also had a lot of other work to do around the house. For example, I somehow punctured one of my 35-inch tires on the truck that needed to be patched, and there was a rapidly accumulating amount of kids' toys and accessories on our driveway. So we decided to put in a shed, which Tori tackled.
There's a lot of stuff going on back here, and we don't really know what to do with it. Our sheds are pretty full of gear and, you know, ATV, snowmobile, things like that. So bikes, strollers, wagons, kids' toys, all of that is just kind of stored under this really crappy shelter that I built a couple years ago. So we finally splurged on a 6x6 storage shed that we are going to assemble today and put in the front of our house. It should kind of match our house. And store everything in there. So that is what I'm going to work on today. As with most things, this is going to be harder than I imagined. Obviously the ground is not perfectly level where we want to put it, so we need to build some sort of platform to put it on so that it's level. You know, we're not going to have it. So I'm actually going to disassemble this crappy little shelter that I built and try to use the lumber from there. Otherwise I'm going to have to go to the store, which I really don't want to do.
Here comes this little munchkin. Thanks, Tor. And there is the culprit. Using my Cold Steel commercial series fillet knife because it's the sharpest blade I got.
Taking a break? I could use some help over there.
I'm doing it for the shot. I mean, it's a spawn brand integration for my beer.
Pretty much done. There's a couple more things that need to be done, but I do need another person to help me. I'm waiting for Jim to get back from picking up Hudson, which was a very long time ago. So I'm just gonna start loading stuff into the shed. Definitely needs a couple more things, like I'll probably wanna make some steps to get into it. But, you know, otherwise it's done. So I will move stuff into it and clear up this front section of our house, which I'm really, really excited about because it is trashed. Still a few things to get rid of here. I do want to get rid of the wagon and that tricycle and the stroller that I put in here, but can't do it all in one day. We'll get it sorted eventually.
Now it being late spring heading into summer, sometimes we had those perfect days, and although the water was still pretty chilly, we had to spend some time hanging out down by the river at our property to swim and just cool off and relax after putting in some hard days of work on the garden. It's always good to make time and respect the place that I'm lucky enough to live and just really spend some good time with the family.
It's a good life.
So that's pretty much of a wrap for our escapades of growing food in our three sisters gardens. But stay tuned because I'm going to be giving some updates as to their progress, not only on YouTube, but also if you check out my Instagram page at JB Adventurer and Jim Baird Adventurer on Facebook. I'll post some stuff. It's amazing how fast things come along. And this whole area is going to look very, very different, especially when we get closer to harvest time. And it's just awesome how the three sisters, corn, beans, and squash all work together.
Not!
Where's North?
I don't know. Not!
North! Maybe he's getting a drink in the river.
I come too.
Yeah, let's go look. Come on.
By the river.